Hello everyone, you're watching Awaz News. I'm Kubra Ali and I'll be taking you through big news across Canada.
Victims killed in Huntsville, Ontario collision were Chinese citizens, officials confirm. Critics of Ontario Place Spa very disappointed. Toronto won't fight project as part of New Deal. Life expectancy for Canadians fell in 2022 for third year in a row, says StatCan. Absolutely no talk of moving Paul Bernardo to minimum security, corrections head. Crews on scene of fatal fire at one of the city's shelter hotels in North York. Ontario Nix's cities ask to allow more of them to get housing infrastructure money. Bag containing more than $300,000 worth of jewelry stolen from parked vehicle in Rexdale, police say.
These were the headlines, and let's jump right into the details.
Ontario's housing minister is shooting down a request from big city mayors for a change in funding criteria that would help more than them qualify for money to build infrastructure necessary for new homes. The province has assigned housing targets to 50 municipalities and has set those that meet at least 80% of their number annually will get a slice of 3-year $1.2 billion Building Faster Fund. The money could be used for housing enabling infrastructure such as roads and water lines, critical building new homes. But with 1 month left in the year, just 9 of the 50 municipalities have met or exceeded their target for housing starts, and another 5 are listed as being on track at between 80 and 90%. The Ontario Big City Mayors Group asked Municipal Affairs and Housing Minister Paul Calandra last month to base their eligibility for the fund on how many building permits municipalities issue rather than on the number of housing starts, because putting shovels in the ground is out of their control. When asked today if he was still considering that request, Calandra said no. Critics of the Ontario government's plans to redevelop Ontario Place into a large spa and water park said Monday that they will continue their fight despite a new deal between the city and province that will see Toronto drop its opposition to the project. We are very disappointed Torontonians and Ontarians won't have their say as this redevelopment continues through City Hall, because it seems like the province is simply going to pull it away. Ontario Place for All co-chair Norm Day Pascoe told Awaz News. Now we have all lost our say, but I expect the City of Toronto to support Ontario Places for All's actions going forward. Premier Doug Ford and Mayor Olivia Chow announced Monday that they have reached a new deal for the city that will see the province take back responsibility for the Don Valley Parkway and the Gardiner Expressway, a move that will save Toronto billions of dollars. In exchange, however, the city has agreed to a number of concessions, including acceptance of the province's authority to advance approvals for Ontario Place and a new Ontario Science Centre location. A statement from the province also says that the city has accepted that the province will take steps to assume authority for necessary planning approvals for Ontario Place, and that the province would have the ability to acquire land and water at the around Ontario Place that may be needed for future use as part of the rebuilding process. The project, which will reportedly see Austrian company Therma take a 95-year lease for the property, has faced sharp criticism from the public and community groups. In the Toronto mayoral race earlier this year, Chow said that she would oppose the Ford government's plan for Ontario Place and said that the site should remain a public park instead of a private spa. After she took office in July, Chow said that the city could fight the province's expropriation of some of its land for the project in court, comments that Ford called disappointing at the time. Just several weeks ago, Chow's executive committee asked city staff to explore the feasibility of using space at Exhibition Place to house the spa as an alternative to Ontario Place. Speaking with reporters Monday, Chow said her position is still the same, but she now believes that the city can't do anything to block the project. It has been my position that I believe that Ontario Place should be a public park, but it is called Ontario Place, Chow said. The land belongs to the provincial government and we do not have the authority to stop the redevelopment. The future of the Ontario Place, that debate is going to happen here at Queen's Park, not at municipal level. She said parking for the new facility could still be moved to Exhibition Place, an idea that could potentially preserve more park space at Ontario Place. Ford did not respond directly when asked if he would support the idea. However, she said there has been movement in discussion around the parking and about keeping some science programming at the Science Centre's current location, even though the province still plans to move the Science Centre to Ontario Place. So both the Science Centre and the parking, there's movement on it. That's the best we can do, Chow said. Asked if he thought the mayor should have fought harder, De Pasquale said the province has left the city with little option. Speaking with Awaz News councillor Brad Bradford, who opposed Chow in the mayoral race, commended her for walking back some of her campaign positions to get the deal done with the province. It's a significant reversal from her positions in the campaign with respect to uploading the rebuilding the Gardiner, with respect to sort of putting the swords down on Ontario Place, and with respect to having more police officers on the TTC, Bradford said. These are all common sense positions that I think the vast majority of Torontonians agree with. Ontario's Auditor General said early this month that it was probing the province's deal with Therma. That process remains ongoing. A new report from Statistics Canada says life expectancy for the average Canadian at birth has fallen from 3 straight years, from 82.3 years in 2019 to 81.3 in 2022. The report on deaths shows New Brunswick saw the biggest decline in life expectancy in 2022, dropping to 79.8 years from 80.9 in 2021. Saskatchewan's life expectancy have fallen the most over the past 3 years combined, dropping a full 2 years to 78.5 in 2022 from 80.5 in 2019. Cancer and heart disease were the leading causes of death, accounting for 41.8% of all deaths in 2022, while COVID-19 caused about 6% of deaths. More than 19,700 Canadians died of COVID-19 last year, the highest number since the pandemic began in 2020. The reports shows the rate of COVID-19 deaths in Atlantic Canada was more than 7 times higher last year compared with the year before. Police are making a public appeal for information after a bag containing more than $300,000 worth of jewelry was stolen from a parked vehicle in Rexdale last month. It happened at around 4:20 p.m. on October 19 near Albion Road and Highway 27. Police say that the suspect approached a parked vehicle in the area, smashed the passenger side window, and then proceeded to steal the bag containing the jewelry. The suspect is described as 25 to 35 years old with a medium build. He was last seen wearing a blue Gap sweater, blue track pants, white running shoes, and a black baseball hat. Police say he was carrying a black and white Adidas bag at the time. Police say that the suspect is wanted for theft over $5,000. Anyone with the information about the case is being urged to come forward. The Commission of Correctional Service Canada says there is absolutely no talk of moving notorious serial killer and rapist Paul Bernardo to an even lower security level following his transfer into a medium security prison. Ann Kelly testified at a parliamentary committee today about the decision to move Bernardo from maximum security prison in late May. The move set off a politician firestorm, with federal conservatives demanding that the Liberal government ensure his return to maximum security. The federal government maintained that the decision to transfer him was made by the Independent Prison Authority and politicians could not interfere. Bernardo is serving an indeterminate life sentence for the kidnapping, sexual assault, and murder of 15-year-old Kristen French and 14-year-old Leslie Mahaffey in the early 1990s near St. Catharines, Ontario. A review of the decision released in July found officials followed proper policies and said Bernardo had long met the criteria to be reclassified as a medium security prisoner, but was only moved after he proved he could integrate with other inmates. One person is dead following a 2-alarm fire at one of the city's shelter hotels. The fire broke out at the Toronto Plaza Hotel, located near Wilson Avenue on Highway 400 at around 9:40 a.m. on Monday. Smoke was visible when crews arrived on scene and a fire was discovered on the fourth floor, officials said. Our crews, their first priority is life safety. They made entry into the building for the purposes of search and rescue. In the course of those operations, they located one person inside the unit that was involved in fire, Toronto Fire Chief Matthew Peck told reporters at the scene on Monday. That person was removed from the unit and brought to the care of the waiting Toronto paramedics. Unfortunately, I regret to inform that person has been pronounced dead. Peck did not provide an information about the deceased, but paramedics previously said the victim was an adult. One person was assessed at the scene for smoke inhalation, paramedics said. Occupants of the building were asked to shelter in place as crews worked to extinguish the blaze. Toronto Fire Service investigators, along with the Office of the Fire Marshal and Toronto Police, will now work to determine what led to the deadly blaze. There will be a comprehensive investigation into the origin, cause, and circumstances into this fatal fire, Peck said. He added that the building was most recently inspected for fire code compliance in July. That inspection was completed and the building was in compliance of the fire code with no violations, he said. 4 of the victims killed in a two-vehicle collision in Muskoka late Saturday night were Chinese citizens, officials have confirmed. The collision took place between a westbound Mercedes SUV and an eastbound Ford SUV on Highway 16 near Hidden Valley Road at approximately 11:10 p.m. Police have previously said that 4 teenagers between the age of 15 and 17 were inside the Mercedes at the time. The teens, who were from North York and Richmond Hill, were pronounced dead at the scene. A 42-year-old woman from Huntsville was driving the Ford SUV. She was transported to hospital where she later succumbed to her injuries. On Monday, the Consulate General of the People's Republic of China in Toronto confirmed to Awaz News that 4 of the victims are citizens of China. At this time, it remains unconfirmed which 4. Anyone with further information on this incident is asked to contact the Huntsville OPP or Crime Stoppers anonymously.
That's it for now. I'm Kubrali signing off. See you tomorrow, same time, same channel. Have a good night.